following program makes use of copywritten material as part of a psychological examination of music. All music copyrights remain property of their respected creators.
Hey kids, welcome to today's show. In today's episode, we went into part 2 of our Real Talk series. And once again, we talked about some really random shit. We went all the way from what kind of serial killer would we be if we were serial killers to a tragic story about a bunch of geese getting ran over. It's a roller coaster of emotions, but I guarantee you'll probably enjoy it. Johnny, what did you take away from this episode, having to relive that story about geeses? Are you okay?
I'll be all right.
Good, because I don't want to deal with your emotionalness. Because that was a pretty sad story, by the way. Like, every time you tell me it, like, I feel like I want to cry on the inside, but I really can't help but laugh. Like, maybe that's just my way of dealing with it because it's such a sad story.
Wait till you hear my turtle story.
Oh, God, no.
No, I legitimately have a turtle story.
I don't want to hear it.
Bad.
We'll save that for the next Real Talk. But yeah, another episode. No music, no commercials, just the two of us talking to each other, and it was a good show. Really liked it. So, on that note, sir, take us there.
Welcome to the
Conversationalists. Put it up. Question 2 seconds ago before we started. What kind of serial killer would I be if I was a serial killer? Now, like I told you before, I don't know enough knowledge about serial killers like you do.
Right.
You have a fucking encyclopedia of fucking serial killers, like that huge ass book that you got.
Both physically and mentally.
And you listen to a goddamn podcast that just goes on and on about, so you know a lot about you know a lot about serial killers, like I know a lot about like superheroes and stuff.
If I retained everything that I've listened to or that I've heard, I'd know a lot.
Yeah, like that's like a lot of like
I know like pieces.
So like if you were to like see something in the news about like a killing, you could be like, oh, that's just like such and such killing that happened in 1986. Would you be able to do something like that?
That's what I aspire to do.
Oh, okay. Well, you can't do that right now, is what you're saying.
No.
See, like
and maybe if even further, like if I got good enough at it, we could have like a very own killing in Huntsville, and I'll be like, oh man, that's Trey White. He finally snapped.
It was bound to happen sometime.
I would get a great job if I could just pinpoint that out. But I mean, the proof is not.
Yeah. But I guess to go into what kind of a serial killer would I be if I was a serial killer, not who would I be like, but what kind would I be?
Passion killer.
No. See, well, this is what I'm thinking. A very minor detail that I've always noticed about myself is, despite me being kind of like a chubby kind of guy, I can walk around and remain kind of silent.
Right.
Like, I don't make a lot of noise, like a lot of big steps whenever I walk around. Like, I could take steps where like you wouldn't know I was behind you the whole time. So I kind of feel like I would go down like the stalker route, like follow you in the night kind of style.
Right.
I don't know.
How'd your kids?
Like, I feel like this is where like I feel like I'm like internally like fighting myself, because like I could see like if I wanted to, I could probably sneak up to somebody behind someone, strangle them, and they wouldn't even know I was there. But then there's part of me that's like, if I was in like a fucking like bank robbery, like I was just like a bystander just trying to go to the bank, and like someone was like, give me all your fucking money, like I could easily like use that ability to sneak behind them and disable them. Like I could use my powers for good. My sneakiness for good.
So sneaky.
But that's what I'm saying. Like I can do that pretty well. I think I naturally, since I'd like to think I'm a decent person. Not once do I ever think, oh, I could easily just kill this guy right now.
Right.
But I wouldn't be I wouldn't be lying if I didn't say that. I'd be lying if I didn't say that every now and then I've thought about it.
Yeah.
With like particular people that I just kind of detested. And I don't know if this is like some like revelation of like me being a serial killer, like insane on the inside. But no, there have been a few people
insane enough to mention it on the podcast before they get into it.
Yeah. There was a few people in my time where like I would see them as like I could easily, nobody would know, I could easily get away with it. But then I snap out, what the fuck are you doing to yourself, man? Get out of here.
Yeah, man.
I don't know if actual, like, I'm sure you would probably have more insight on this than I would, but like I'm sure once like they commit to like that decision of like going through with the act of doing it, I don't really know if like their conscience is like, hey man, what are you doing right now? Like it's just more of like,
yeah, mostly
kill.
They don't have that, you know.
Yeah. Do you think that that's like one of the main like qualities of like the thing that they're missing?
There's a difference in between a serial killer and a spree killer too.
Right.
A spree killer does it in the passion of the situation. A serial killer has that thought, I'm doing this, I'm going for it, you know, and the plan for the most part. Now sometimes they do, you know, just have that aggression and that rage and they fuck up and they're like, oh shit, now I got a plan to hide this body. You know what I mean?
So would like the people who shoot up schools, would that be more of...
That's a passion killer, and that's a spree killer.
Right.
You know, they only do it once. They may have a higher count than actual serial killers, but it's all in the moment, you know.
Yeah.
If they got to live to do it again, they probably wouldn't.
Right. Do you think that just goes along with like people that are picked on, or like, because like
no, absolutely not.
Okay.
Because, you know, I don't know, are you thinking specifically Columbine right now?
I was about to mention Columbine, but also I was trying to think of like any time I'd ever seen...
The guys in Columbine were actually assholes. They weren't picked on. They were the ones that did the picking on.
Yeah, if I could go on a quick tangent. There was this movie that came out, I want to say 2007, 2008, by Gus Van Sant. He did this movie called Elephant. And it was a very slow, kind of artsy movie, was what you thought. And it just followed these kids in this high school.
Right.
Like what their day-to-day lives were. Like it followed like this photographer guy, it followed this jock guy, it followed like this kind of young geeky kid for a little bit, like just sort of like just the camera just followed them and just watched their interactions for a while, and then it got to these two kids who were planning on shooting their school up,
right?
And they were both like they were gay lovers,
right? And
one of them was kind of, he looked like he could pass off as normal, but then the other one looked like he was kind of like the weirdo, like the antisocial, but you know, kind of outcast. This was in like a school in like California is where it took place, so it was very much like high school prep rallies, like
right.
very, you know, lively kind of place, and they just sort of like were the weirdos to the side, and then they shot their school up,
right?
And it was like a very like extreme movie to watch, because like you spend this whole time just slowly like watching these characters, and at the very end, the grand finale is like, oh, they all get killed by these two killers, like these, you know, and then one of the gunners kills the other one just randomly.
Oh, you mean like Columbine?
Yeah. And it just sort of ends like fades to black. It was a really weird movie. But that's the very first movie I'd ever seen that involved like school shootings.
Right.
So at the time I was like, holy shit, I don't know what these guys are. This is some extreme shit right now.
Columbine was a real fucking big deal.
Yeah. Because
it was the first one like that had such a high count, and I mean, it changed everything for people going to school forever.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, now we have shootings, you know, still not. I mean, I think the fact that it was in a school kind of really makes a difference, you know. Yeah. Especially with America's view on gay nightclubs versus schools, you know. I mean, the general population on that, you know, I don't know. I would say the conservatives don't usually like, it didn't happen until there was a gay nightclub that got shot up before, everybody was just like, oh yeah, so okay, I'll forget that you're gay for a minute and act like I'm sad,
Right.
you know. And schools, on the other hand, man, that's where we put our kids.
Yeah.
You
They,
know?
they kind of put more. Well, okay, I'm probably gonna go into something. I don't know if this. I don't mean what I'm trying to say, but like, or I don't mean anything negative at what I'm trying to say, but like, whenever you see it happen to like school, like what happened in Sandy Hooks, that being like children, you think like these are these beacons of light, these beacons of innocence.
Right.
You know, this is our future right ahead of us, and it was cut short way too soon. And then, then high school was like, that was just like an extreme thing that happened to like the future of our world, you know. And then whenever it happened at the gay club, it was more like, I remember seeing like the community, the gay community, like they were just outraged. I mean, not outraged, but they were just blown away that this happened. Like all this hatred happened towards people who were just trying to express their love for each other and everything like that. And this one guy, he did all this shit out of hatred, and it was like, but
it was also hatred, you know. Like, I think a lot of homophobia is based out of, you know, the person actually having that dispute within themselves. The battle going on. You know, they're really actually gay, but they can't, you know, they can't deal with it. I mean, and a lot of things, going back to serial killers, is the same thing, like John Wayne Gacy. You know, John Wayne Gacy was way in the closet. I think a lot
was
of...
he?
Yeah,
I apologize.
Yeah.
I know nothing about serial killers, like I've told you many times.
Right.
You know all the history.
Right.
All I knew about Gacy was he was the fat clown guy who had dead bodies under his house.
22 boys.
Yeah.
Not men.
Yeah.
Boys.
Right.
So it was a pedophiliac, but the way that Gacy worked was he would hire, you know, different people. He was actually a politician. He was a really smart guy. But he was like a local politician for the Democratic Party, and he also got involved in a lot of different things. He did construction work, and he'd have people, you know, he'd have, you know, boys work for him and stuff. And he did that whole, you know, like, I'm not gay, but, you know, it's not really gay if, you know, you know, since there's no girls around for right now, you know, we can talk about girls, and if you just, you know, poke that thing out, I can, you know, like that's the kind of mentality. Like, I think we all had that could see that in some of the people in school that we went with, went to school with, you know, that whole homophobic thing comes from a lot of, like, that's what I feel. I think most homophobia that I've ever seen, that I've ever experienced, comes from people who have some fucking battles on the inside.
Right. Going back to that guy, the guy in Orlando.
Yeah.
You found out that he had like some sort of gay lover.
Yeah.
And remember when I heard that, I was like, that makes perfect sense.
It makes perfect sense.
Yeah,
man. He wasn't. I don't know what kind of religion he was, or maybe it was just general society that didn't, or his, you know, his paradigm of people around him didn't agree with it, or I don't know.
Yeah, I don't want to go on record saying like, oh, I think I heard he was Muslim, or oh, I heard he was part of this, whatever. But I just knew whatever, like from what I've seen. Like, I mean, he walked into that damn place with like fucking he killed so many people, and he was able to like reload his gun so fast, and like with the fucking semi-automatic machine gun, whatever it is he had. How long ago was that? It feels like it's been so long since that damn thing happened.
It's been months.
Yeah, but still, it feels like. I mean, I don't think
it wasn't half a year.
Yeah, no, I know it happened recently, but it feels like it's just. It happened, and now it's sort of like simmered. It's finally like just kind of like faded away.
It's faded away till something else comes up.
Yeah.
You know? There'll be a tragic experience that happens. And along there will be a stupid fucking debate.
Right.
And those always happen all the time. Stupid debates. What dress are you wearing? You know, what color is the dress?
Right,
you know?
right.
The fucking bear. Was it a bear?
No, it was a gorilla.
A gorilla? Fucking gorilla?
Harambe or whatever his name was.
Yeah. What kind of piece of shit puts pineapple on a pizza?
Yeah, you're right, man. There is always something that comes up. I think as just trying to get...
Everybody's just trying to stay current. I think that's the main thing. It's like, what's our conversation that we can all talk about to act like we're more current than everybody else sometimes.
Right. But not only do I feel like there's like that debate, but it's also like the shootings. As soon as that happened, there was this whole like gun control kind of like huge thing that happened that sort of like made everybody like either really pissed off, like conservatives like, oh, I can carry my gun around. If we had better gun control, this shit would have never happened. You know, like if them gays had better gun control, they would have been able to defend themselves. Like, you know.
That's funny, but I was hoping it would be funny if you said the F word.
Oh. No, man. This is such a terrible thing that's happening right now.
It's sad, but at the same time, like just
yeah.
Man.
It's kind of how you have to work it out. But yeah, that's kind of how people were, and that's how that big event turned people. Like even going back to fucking Columbine, like they stopped selling guns, or like it became more difficult to get guns at fucking Walmart.
It became more difficult to get into your school without being scanned in every day to see if there was any kind of giant piece of metal on you. You know.
Yeah. I don't ever recall there being a metal detector at our high school.
You didn't have one? Oh, no. I mean, I went to high school with you.
Yeah,
absolutely.
we were in the same.
But I mean, like in other schools there were, like Willis had one, I believe, and I mean, I know immediately right after Columbine, that was a thing they started investing in. That's the thing that they had more. Mm-hmm. You know, our school really didn't have that great of a budget anyhow.
Right. You'd think that maybe they would have done something after we had that huge bomb threat. Remember that one bomb threat?
We had bomb threats all the time.
Yeah, but I remember there was like that big one where we were outside for like fucking 5 or 6 hours. Pretty much to spend the entire day outside.
Yeah.
You would think after something as big as that, they'd be like, okay, maybe we should... Our
bomb threats were awesome, though.
Oh, hell yeah. I had a great time.
Yeah.
I had a whole bunch of white chicks just sort of like lay on top of me for a while.
Yeah.
That was pretty fun.
That's how days at school should always be.
You know. Best days of my life. But no, you would think after something like that, the school district would be like, maybe we should keep a better eye on the kind of kids that we have in our school if they're calling fucking bomb threats like this.
Right, but also back in the day, I guess before our time really, there was payphones in school.
Right.
You know, so with payphones in school, you know, bomb threats were a lot easier to have happened.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And for us, you know, we've been trackable, and now it's all trackable where, you know, who's calling what in, you know, but...
Did you ever, sorry to interrupt you, but did you ever make any crank phone calls on payphones?
Never.
I called 911 one time from a payphone.
This is on record.
Yeah. I called 911 one time, and they're like, 911 emergency, how can I direct your call? And then I hung up the phone real quick, and then they called back, and I was like, hello, and I was like, did someone just call 911? Just hang up. And then they called back, they kept calling back, and then like I just walked away from the phone. I was at some school thing. It wasn't my school, it was a completely different school, which is why I did it. And some girl picked up, she's like, hello? He's like, did somebody call 911? And then she goes, did someone call 911? And nobody said anything. I don't think anybody called. And then like she just hung up the phone. Then they kept calling back. And then like one of the parents picked up the phone. I was like, hello? And he's like, did somebody call 911? This is a serious thing. Is everyone okay? And it's like, okay, who called 911? And I was like, shit. Like,
that's like, awesome.
Yeah. And yeah, we got pretty big trouble for that one. Not by 911, but by mom. So that was worse than. But
911 ain't got a belt.
911 doesn't got a chunklet. But I guess man. This is we're going off topic now, man. But like fucking payphones, how those are like completely disappeared. Like how much fucking things are just randomly disappearing that from like our past.
Yeah.
We're coming into
like Walmart workers.
Right.
Yeah, they're disappearing.
They're gonna be turning into goddamn androids.
Yeah. Well, it's machines, man. Or, you know, the whole, you know, the scan it yourself.
Yeah, the self-checkout.
Self-checkout? Yeah, it takes a place of somebody that could be working there.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I guess it's all about efficiency.
Then there's the thing at McDonald's where I think they're gonna get rid of actual cooks. And they're gonna just have like robot hands like flipping your burgers and shit.
I think you're thinking way too into this.
I'm not. I'm just saying.
I mean, eventually, yeah, of course it's gonna happen, but it's like at the same time, it'll probably be a little while.
It'll be in our lifetime, probably.
Think so?
I think so. I think it'll be. I think the fucking. I mean, okay, I worked in a goddamn factory. I ran a machine that had robot arms that were building fucking.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. I think there's still going to be people working at the McDonald's.
Yeah.
But just, less cooks, more technicians.
You got to get a fucking engineering degree at MIT to get a job at McDonald's now. It's like, shit.
That's what I've always said, man. It just makes more sense to, if you're going to go to school with the way that technology is working, you got to be an engineer.
Yeah. No,
that's where it's going to be at.
I got friends and I got family that got into that line of work, and they're doing extremely well because fucking jobs just going out the ass.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I feel like I should have gone that route, man. Like
it's never too late.
Knowing how easy it was whenever I was like working on a damn machine every damn day, and I was putting those fucking like maintenance men to fucking shame. Like if the thing went down and they called in the workers, like the maintenance guys, like it's fucking broke, we don't know what happened. They'd come in and like, we don't know what happened, and I'd come in, I press a few buttons, I'd do a few things, fuck would be up and running. They'd look at me, what did you do? And it's like, I'm fucking awesome. That's what I did. I fixed the fucker. Give me a job. Give me a real job.
Right.
Anyways.
But we don't have a degree in MIT.
Hey, you don't have a degree from MIT. Yeah, fuck that shit, man. I know what I'm doing.
Put them to shame, man. Go to school.
That's what I should have done.
It's never too late.
Yeah. No, funny enough, I saw this video the other day. It was of this old man who has Alzheimer's. Mm-hmm. And he was in the car with his son. And the caption of the video read, the only time that I get to bring him, like I get to see him come back was in quotations, was when we were in the car and we sing together. And they start singing like older, like his kind of music, like show tuning kind of music together. And he just was like full of life.
Like Frank Sinatra?
Yeah, like just like lit up, and like he was like singing the song. And like you look over to his son and be like sing the words like this, you know the words. Come on, man. Like kind of like he was the one that was like pushing him. Like, come on, man. Yeah. You know the words. Come on, let's sing together. And whenever I was in school for music therapy, like that was the whole reason that I got into that.
Yeah.
Because I went in specifically for people with like memory disorders, like Alzheimer's and memory loss, things, shit like that.
Well, I can tell you, I see that stuff all the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because as well as a lot of people, all the listeners know that my job is generally I pick up biohazard medical waste. Mm-hmm. So I pick up from a lot of different places, including nursing homes and old folks' homes of different kinds. There's two different kinds of nursing homes. Like one is like the really nice resort kind, and those are fucking beautiful. Those are nice. Those are the kind that I wish I was rich as fuck to have been able to, been able to afford. But then there's these other ones that are like nursing homes, like smells terrible. It's terribly put together, not enough people, like people falling apart. Like I feel much more comfortable at the places with dead bodies everywhere than I do with the fucking nursing homes that have the old ladies that come up to you and grab your arm, and it's I swear to God, it's like a zombie movie. Every fucking time I walk in there, it is terrifying, and I know it's my job, so I have to do it.
Right.
I have to walk through like a crowd of old ladies in wheelchairs looking at me. One of us. One of us.
Yeah.
It's scary, Niko.
Oh no, I believe you. I feel like if I was you and I was in that situation, I would kind of turn into like Louis C.K. and just sort of like try and dodge everybody. Like, get away from me!
Put my palm in her face.
Yeah, that's exactly how I would do it.
The point that I'm coming to,
is
every once in a while they'll have music going on.
Yeah.
Like they'll have somebody, like social workers or just general people there to devote their time to these people, you know, because it is really sad. And, you know, if I could do anything to help, I would, except for experience that moment close to them.
Yeah.
So I can't do anything. I don't do anything.
So what you're saying, you wouldn't go to a nursing home with like your guitar and amp?
If I had enough Valium, maybe.
You would have your guitar and you have your amp, and then you'd be like, all right, guys, just, you know, sing along if you know the words, and then you turn the distortion up.
Actually, that would be a legit thing, and maybe in the next 40 years.
Yeah, because
that will be show tunes.
Yeah. That'll be our music from our time then.
Yeah.
Man, we're gonna grow up to be such weird old people, man. It's
gonna be awesome.
But anyways, you're saying that...
I'm saying that sometimes they have the like, some of the people are just not there, always shaking. Just there's no coming back.
Yeah.
You turn on these old show tunes like you're talking about, you know, or these old gospel, mostly gospel, because you know, society. You see these people. These old people just singing along with it, and it's a beautiful thing for everybody to come back. You know, I've seen. You know, I was listening to the radio. I noticed one day it was Elvis's birthday, and then I went into the, you know, like just a few minutes later into one of the old folks' homes, and they had a fucking impersonator.
Oh my god!
Right there, you know, just singing to all these old people, and you know, it's kind of a pain in the ass because the hallway where they do everything, like I've got to like cross and get through, you know. So I've got my fucking dolly and I've got my boxes that have the nastiest of the nastiest shit. In old folks' homes, there's always legit shit, you know, or something that smells fucking horrible,
right?
And yeah, so I'm just, you know, trying to scoot like through these, you know, wheelchairs with zombies in them, and with the smelliest of shit. And this is the only time I get to see the manager, so that's whenever I ask for the signature while everything's going on. It's a fucking nightmare, man. You don't want my job.
No, I don't want your job.
You don't want my job.
But I want to watch you work just so I can see. Oh, excuse me. Oh, sorry. Oh, excuse me. Like, just trying to like.
That is what happens every day at work.
And then having some old woman, huh? What?
That happens, yeah. That and one of us.
I'll swallow your soul.
Swallow your soul. I'll swallow your soul. I think I would shit myself. If I saw that, if she comes up to me, I'll swallow your soul. I would worship that lady,
right,
and shit a brick,
probably, yeah.
But also, what's cool that they do sometimes is they, like I've noticed, like at the resort-like ones, the really nice one, they'll have like physical therapy,
right,
in one room where like an old lady's using a Wii.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, like she's moving with the, like, for the video game purpose of moving and stuff like that. And then I also seen one where there were like 4 rows of chairs and a lot of them, the old people were in the chairs, and they were legitimately like, while they were sitting down, they were moving all their limbs and doing the fucking Dougie.
Oh my god.
Like they were doing like popular nowadays dances.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've definitely seen that.
Is that cute, or is that like just like?
I think for some people it's cute. For me, it's terrifying.
Like, to me, like I'm all down for old people like getting into it, having fun, and being useful. Right. But what I look at it is like, why are you doing this? Like, like just knit me a fucking blanket or something. Yeah. You know, like. Put those little hands to use, you know.
Make me a panini.
Yeah, come on, man.
Just kidding.
For a second, whenever you were talking about having chairs, I thought you were gonna say like they were playing Duck Duck Goose or some shit like that, or no, what's the one whenever they pull the chair out, like they stop the song and you have to get to the chair. What was that?
Musical chairs.
Musical chairs.
Yeah,
like
maybe cakewalk. I don't know.
Old people playing musical chairs and like trying to get that to that one chair and like fucking pushing the old lady out of the way so you can get to the chair.
I know that I will eventually quit my job if I walk in and they're playing Naked Twister. Right boob red.
Flop.
Y'all are making it too easy on me. Oh God.
Oh God. Oh man, no. Going back to what you were saying.
Serial killers?
No. The music in the old folks home. I have a friend who works at an old folks home, and she sent me a video of like somebody playing the acoustic guitar, like playing nice music. And did you get to see the Elvis impersonator? Like, did you get to see like him perform, or
Yeah.
was he doing like the whole "Thank you very much," like the whole like
Yeah.
You did the whole,
with the suit and everything
and the hair.
Yeah, absolutely.
Man,
and sunglasses. It was an older guy too.
Yeah.
But old enough to it was like the PA was shit. Like it was just like one of those little boxes that you wheel in.
Oh yeah.
As far as a PA, but still, I mean, those old people. I mean, I'm sure there's not an old guy like, excuse me.
The acoustics in this room aren't that good, but you can make it work, right?
Walk in here with a fucking Behringer.
That would be kind of cool.
Yeah,
like
that'd be me.
I think old people get away with being like really fucking awesome sometimes,
right.
But then a
lot of times they get away with being fucking assholes.
Yeah,
too.
yeah. I don't know. I feel like if I had the chance, like if I could like go down the music therapy route one more time and actually go through with it,
right.
And make it to like old folks' homes and like be able to play music and like, because what I had used to see was like, not only did
well, that's just the thing. You don't have to have music therapy to go devote your time.
Mm-hmm.
You can go in there, or you can talk to somebody at least, and bring an acoustic guitar and just, this is what I'm doing.
Right.
They're just not going to pay you.
Yeah. But what I'm going to say is what I used to see from my professor, like she would like let them play the music as well. Like everybody had the ability to like perform. Like it was mostly just like tambourines and like hand instruments, and not so much like a guitar.
Right.
Like she played the guitar or the piano while they were doing the tambourines or clapping.
Some cheap, durable bongos.
Triangles.
Right.
Just stuff to make noise with.
Shakers.
Yeah, shakers, definitely. Digging that hand motion you're making there, sir.
Yeah, shake weight.
But whether or not, like, if I was able to do that on the medicine or the medical aspect of like usually using it as a form of like neurological therapy to like bring them comfort, or at least to invoke some form of betterment to themselves mentally. Totally, hell yeah, I would totally be into that.
And it's not just like old people too. I mean, there's low functioning human beings out there that are on a different autism or whatever, like they're just they think in a different way, and whenever you're able to interact with music, you can that's a good way to meet on the same wavelength. I mean, it's we say it 1,000 times, but it's amazing the things that music can do. We've been playing this video game recently called No Man's Sky, and before I go into that, I know that not everybody that listens is a avid video game player. To be honest, I'm not even much of an avid video game player. Definitely not.
But I found this one video game that I enjoy. It involves a lot of space exploration, discovering planets, animals, a whole bunch of other stuff. If you want a better explanation, look it up your own damn self. I'm not going to get into it that much. But the music that they have in this video game, very just like beautiful, right? Adds to the whole experience of traveling space and landing on different planets and wandering around these vast lands of unknown territories or whatever. But it wasn't until I got to the point in the video game where I can like do like a warp drive where like I could travel from one star system to another.
Right. Hyperdrive, right?
Hyperdrive, yeah. And I'm going so damn fast, and they have like this real beautiful music playing, and like for like a moment, like you were like sitting in the chair behind me, and I was like up close to the TV playing, And I just remember, like, legitimately, like, being lost in this moment.
Right.
Like, I felt like I was in the starship. Like, I'm just sitting back and, like, just watching all this light pass me, and then this music is playing. Like, I felt like I was...
You were having a moment.
Yeah, I was...
And then it got shit on.
Yeah, no, it fucking was like... This game has had an error.
Yeah.
And then it had to choose the button, report error, or some shit like that.
Yeah, the most beautiful moment in the game,
Yeah.
Happens for what? Not even a minute.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, bing! Error.
Yeah, and I just remember, you saw me, like, I just was, fuck you!
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, dude.
yeah, it was, I felt heartbroken. And I can't say that happens to me all the time when it comes to video games, because, like I say, I don't, like, I find one that I enjoy, I play it, and then it's over with.
You know what that reminds me of? And I hate to go off topic on this, because I do want to circle back into this game.
Yeah, of course.
Because the game is actually awesome.
Yeah.
It reminds me of that time that I was at work and I was driving my truck, and then I saw this group of geese, and it was so beautiful. Like, it was, you could tell it was like two adult geese and then like maybe 5 or 6 little geese, and you can spot it out. Like, you can see, like, that's the mama geese, and I don't really know the difference in between them, but that's just how it looks. There was 2 adult geese, and it was just so, I was, building this warmth, with these geese, and I was, just driving by, and I was looking at these geese, and thinking about the happy lives they live. They don't have to worry about bills. They don't have to worry about.
Well, they do have to worry about bills, because they.
Yeah, that's a high five if you listeners can't hear it. Okay. So they do have to worry about bills, but they don't have to worry about putting their kids in school. That's the complication sometimes,
Yes.
Fucking lovely, beautiful ass geese. And I'm just thinking about the lives they live, just not so complicated. I'm driving, I see a fucking 18-wheeler go right through this family, and just, like, feathers are fucking everywhere. Like, I see, like, it's like, the tire goes, like, right in half of the geese. You see, like, the bloody stump left of the geese. Mm-hmm. And it really stole my heart. Like, that whole moment in time, like, all the geese died. And if there was a living geese, it's a life not worth having.
Oh my god, that's terrible. Something similar, well, not...
When that happened, I remember the day that happened. I think I told that story in a Chili's. And the family next to us looked like they lost their fucking appetite.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Similar story?
Similar story. Yesterday, I'm getting ready to go to work, and then I head to my car, and on my car is this little gecko guy, this little lizard.
All right.
And I see him, and the first thing I thought is, I have a bearded dragon named Jack, and I was like, oh, maybe that's one of Jack's cousins. It wasn't really, but anyways, he's just on there. He's just on the side of the car, like right next to, like, the side mirror. And I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna, if I open the door, I'm sure he'll go, because I don't want to carry this guy with me. Right. So I open the door, and he just sort of, like, moves around with it, and then I close the door, and he's still on there. Right. He's not stuck. He's just sort of chilling on the side rearview mirror. And I'm like, on the side, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. And in my head, I'm like, okay, little guy, let's go for a ride. You're my passenger. I literally, that was something I thought in my head. The fucking Passenger song by Def. I'm your passenger.
Roll the windows down, the cool night air is curious.
Yeah. So, like, I'm driving, and at one point I think, okay, he's probably gonna hop off at any point right now. Fucker stayed on.
Right.
Okay, so, like, I'm driving out the driveway, and I get on the road. He's on the road with me, and then I notice he's starting to move. So I was like, don't move, little guy. What are you doing? and he moves to the hood of my car. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? He's on the windshield wipers for a second, and then he gets under the hood. And I'm thinking, oh, shit, man. This guy's no, come on, man. And next thing you know, he sort of pops his head out from under the hood. Uh-huh. It literally looks like he had his hands on the hood, and he just sort of stuck his head out. Like, if you put a helmet and some goggles on him, like, he would have been, like, my buddy. Like, I swear, it was so cool. And, like, I'm driving... But, like, I kind of have my eye on him the whole time. Right. At any moment, I should have crashed. Like, really, because, like, I was a terrible driver that day. Because I was just like, come on, man, you can make it. Okay, are we good? Okay, come on, man, you got it, man. And I make a turn, he still hangs. I make another turn, he's still hanging. And I'm going down, I don't know what street it is. The one street where, like, the Donut Wheel and, like, is that Sam Houston? Yeah, I'm going down Sam Houston. And he's still there with me, and I'm still just keeping an eye on him. And he's starting to move around a little bit, so it's making me nervous. So I start to kind of like swerve a little bit because I'm like, come on, man, don't do this to me, man, don't do this to me, Geck. And fucking, he's hanging on the windshield wiper for a little bit, and then he moves back to the side, right next to the mirror. And I'm like, okay, you're still doing good. We're hanging in there. If we make it to work, I'm gonna take you off. I'll put you next to the trees. That way you can have a real home. He didn't make it.
What happened to him?
So I'm like not even far from the grocery store. Right. And like I guess he tried to adjust himself and move. All I saw was his legs just sort of like go like he just flapped off and just flew off.
Oh man.
Like he skidded on the side mirror.
He'll land on his feet.
Hopefully.
Get ran over by an 18-wheeler.
Probably. But I just remember happening, as soon as I saw his legs just go, I just went quiet. Right. And I was like, man, you were so close. You almost made it, man. So then, that was my moment with him.
Hope he had Geico insurance. That life insurance. Does it count as AD&D insurance if his tail grows back? These are all jokes I told already.
Yeah, you did.
They're not funny anymore. We need to get a laugh track for this podcast.
We really do. We need to get like audio samples of like people saying like boo, like just something to say, like the fucking crickets.
Yeah.
That would be great.
We'd go to Howard Stern's studio.
Yeah.
Does that annoy you? Do you listen to radio like that and like hear those sounds and get annoyed?
Well, I used to listen to the Adam Carolla show.
Right.
And they had a guy on the show who would do that. But he did it very tastefully. Like, okay. He did like a lot of like some of them would be like audio clips from like people that were on their show, like very, very funny stuff that people said, and it would work in like awkward situations, or like movie clips, like a lot of like Will Ferrell quotes that would make the funny, like the situation a little bit more funnier. So it was always done more tastefully, but like quirky radio, like all those like little sound clips, all those little bits, like I can't really get into that much.
Right. And like that kind of humor, that kind of comedy, like usually if somebody's overdoing it, it gets funny. Mm-hmm. I don't think that would for me.
Yeah.
I think it would just be even more annoying the more that they did it. It's not like South Park. Right.
No, like all the quirky, like if somebody were to say a joke and then you hear like some sort of like shaker, like wow, like some sort of like weird noise, and like you have like some voice, hey now, like it's like I would have just loved just to hear these people just laugh with each other, like how we do whenever a situation is like so funny that we just can't help but laugh. But no, they got to add the little sound effects in. It's like I don't get radio, man. Like even though this technically is like an internet radio show, I don't know. I like this format a lot more than I do actual radio.
I think I actually do want to get like a music station together. Like as far as like a playlist with a few words in between, you know, just to play music. That's what I want to do.
Right.
I think you do that on Mixcloud.com.
Probably. I don't know. What were we talking about before we went into this?
Oh, we were talking about a lot of different things.
But we were talking about something specific.
Serial killers.
No, you're going way too far back. We're talking about the old people. And then music. And then we were talking about...
Why were we talking about old people? Oh, the game. We were going to go back to
Oh,
the
yeah.
game.
The
No
game.
Man's Sky.
Oh, yeah, no, we were talking about how it shit out on me and how it pissed me off.
Yeah.
Like, the perfect moment, beautiful moment was ruined. Eventually, so I went back and I tried it again.
Right.
And in my head, I was like, if it does it again, I'm not playing this fucking game. Fuck this game.
Right.
And everything was set up. I had all the stuff to make the jump. Go for it. And it was the same thing. All these beautiful lights were going, and it was going by so fast. And like, but even still now in this moment, I'm like, in my head, I'm whispering to myself, like, come on, man, we can do it. Come on, man. Fucking do it. Like just sort of like,
Right.
I don't know, like, encouraging it, like, just don't fucking crash on me. Like, if I was in an actual spaceship, it was like, don't you break on me, you know? And then the music is going, it's just, like, real beautiful, like, I don't know if it's, like, strings or if it's, like, some sort of, like, synth music or whatever it is. It's just the most beautiful thing I've ever heard. And then I make it. I make it to my... I made the jump, and I get to the next star system. There's, like, these ships. There's these huge, like... fucking carrier ships going on, and like a whole bunch of things are like going off as this music is like ascending, and like you made it to the next thing. It's perfect moment, and I think it was because of that music that made the whole thing better. You know, like I've played a lot of like Call of Duty games, and you hear a lot of like da 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 da, like shit that jack you up.
Stuff. Yeah. Halo.
Yeah. Halo music.
Halo's Halo's back and forth. You've got like some heavy. Like
you got like some.
That's ambient.
Yeah.
But you do like whenever you're fucking get to the planet and you start fighting, you know, that's got that heavy guitar sound to it.
Right.
It does. But yeah. A lot of video games do that, have that heavy feel to it. Now the music in No Man's Sky reminds me a lot of the Stranger Things soundtrack.
I never got into that show.
Oh, well, it's awesome.
I hear a lot about it, and then I even watched some review show that spoiled it all. So like,
why would you do that?
See, I was just so apathetic towards. I mean, I don't know what the show is, and all I ever see people say is like, it's the greatest fucking thing in the world.
Yeah,
it's such a great show, and it's like I hadn't seen one episode of it, so I was like, what's the big deal about? I should have just watched all, was it 8 episodes or some shit?
It's only 8 episodes.
I should have watched all, I just
maybe 12.
Binge watched that shit on one of my days off. Even still, now that it was...
You gotta watch a few of them in order to get it.
But get this, like, even though it was quote-unquote spoiled for me, I don't remember anything that they said in that damn thing, so I could probably watch it and that would still be whatever. I mean, I jumped in on a random episode with you.
Right.
Like, I jumped in on, like, episode 5 with you or something like that.
Yeah.
And I was just, like, I felt like I was you for a second. Like, I would, like, if I ever watched a show, like, just today, I was watching Lost. I was watching an episode of Lost, and you came in, and you saw, like, someone's, like, some, like, major shit was going on.
Right.
And you're like, I probably should watch from the beginning. That's exactly how I felt while watching episode 5 of that damn show. Like, I probably should figure what's going on. What's up with this cop? Why is he breaking into this place?
Right.
What's up with these damn kids?
Right.
You know, like...
Yeah, it only makes sense.
Yeah.
It's good. I was definitely a part of what tried to bring the hype to what it was. Mm-hmm. But, you know, essentially what it comes down to is the music is the same as the movie It Follows.
Right.
Which the musician in It Follows was Disaster Piece. Mm-hmm. And that's like that 8-bit sort of synth sound. Mm-hmm. And I really like that stuff, you know. Mm-hmm. It's got this nerdy touch to it, you know.
Yeah.
It's really interesting.
What made it so interesting in It Follows is you really didn't know what time period that movie was in.
Right. Because all the style was like 80s.
Yeah.
But
at one point, you see this girl reading out of like a fucking clamshell,
the clamshell
like
phones?
a little Palm Pilot type thing,
right?
And you're thinking, like, what is that? Why is that there? And I remember thinking, like, I remember seeing like the movie producers be like, we just put that in there. We wanted people to be like that. Like, what time period are you in?
But at the same time, to me, whenever they've got that old style and then they've got that past our style, you know what I mean? Like, it just kind of shows that this is meant to be portrayed in another universe.
Right.
And another way of how things would have worked here. Or
An alternate universe.
Oh, yeah, an alternate universe, so to speak. So, you know, just like, I mean, I guess maybe this one, if things just didn't work out the same way, it's hard to explain. You know? But, I mean, I think that's what also helped how awesome that movie was, too.
Oh, yeah, the music definitely...
And the music was even like that because it had a retro yet new style to it. Mm-hmm. You know, new synth style, or not new synth style, old synth style with new synth technology.
Right.
You know, and that is fucking cool.
Uh-huh.
I like it when musicians go back in time. The bands we interview sometimes have like that. You know, they stay true to their elements. You know, Killer Becky's got that 90s sound to him.
Yeah.
Jeremy Carswell's got that 80s sound to him.
Yeah.
You know, and...
fucking
Tolan Trio,
the Pickets, they're a fucking 60s folk, you know, kind of thing going.
Yeah. I mean, it's awesome, especially in this little town that we've got so much diversity. Not everybody here is trying to be the next Periphery.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people jumping into that gent sound, which I like the gent sound, you know, that new, you know, switching, you know, different keys of the song every 10 seconds.
Right.
You know, it's interesting, but it's just another form of progressive rock.
Right. I think the fact that there is that diversity in our small little town, it also kind of lets them have their own identity instead of like,
right.
Like if you were to build a show, just say for instance, fucking Killer Becky's headlining, because fuck yeah, and like you had fucking Jeremy open up, and then you had fucking John Tolan follow up, and then you had just throw in some bolting for Nosh, whatever that shit was.
It's punk.
You throw in that in there, and then you top it off with Killer Becky's. That's like a fucking crazy ass bill right there, because you got so many different identities going on. But it would be fun as shit.
Right, and it's all good.
Yeah,
you know, it's all comfortable.
Yeah.
You know, you want to see people do what they want to do, and that's what we do in this town for the most part, you know? I mean, not everybody's trying hard to be something they're not, you know?
Did you think back in the day when we were playing music that it was kind of more like similar, like we were kind of... I felt like
I think the scene back then was a little bit more everybody trying to push towards what's new.
Yeah. Like, I remember us and, like...
Us Great?
Who?
Last Great Assault.
I was gonna say us, then Last Great, but like one of the earlier versions of Last Great Assault before before some members left, and then like Falling North, and even We Are the Murder. Even though they were a little bit different than the others, but like still kind of like that hard rock feel.
It was, yeah.
Like you could definitely tell there was different influences, because Last Great was definitely influenced by more of like the alternative punk emo kind of sound.
It was all alternative rock.
Yeah.
We were probably the hardest.
Probably more.
We were the only ones that were trying to go for hard rock, though. Yeah. Everybody else fit into the category that they wanted to fit in. You know. Yeah. So it works.
We were more on the metal side, and the others were just like on the rock. There
wasn't
side.
Really many other metal until they got Noxemery, which is way heavy.
Yeah.
Props to Louis.
Shout out to Louis. I remember whenever I saw, it was like just after we disbanded, and I remember seeing Noxemery play, and it was when they had their singer Frank.
Frank's a badass too.
Yeah, and like they had like smoke going, and there was like this huge deal, and I remember
a little poster behind them.
Was there?
They had a big poster of like this guy that was like, I don't know, it was weird.
Right. But I remember seeing that, and I remember thinking, like, this is, like, the new era of, like, the music scene in Huntsville.
Yeah. And never became...
No, I mean, they only played a few shows. I don't even think they wanted to stay in Huntsville. Like, they definitely just bolted up.
No one really does.
No, but at least we did a lot of shows in town for, like, our fans.
Yeah.
You know? But, like, they did maybe a handful of shows. But anyways, whenever I saw them, I was like, this is, like, the new era of music that's going to come out. And then Lizard shut down, and then nobody had a place to play.
Right.
And then there's years where like there was no shows going on, I guess. Right. And then fucking 12th Street opens up, and then everybody has a home now. They have they got a real nice stage. They got a nice setup.
There's a scene now.
Yeah, that's cool as shit to me, man. Like, that's even still.
Right.
I think it's cool to know, like, I can go on Facebook and I can find out there's going to be, like, 3 shows coming up on the bar, like, this is just right up the road. You know, I wish there was more venues, more bars, even though nothing compares to 12th Street Bar. But I wish there was more places where, you know, there could be, like, more shows going on at once.
What's interesting enough is, like, every bar around, you know, usually has, like, that owner that everybody hates. Like, they all like the bar, but they fucking can't stand the owner. That's almost every fucking bar in Huntsville but 12th Street Bar.
Yeah, yeah.
You look at 12th Street Bar and you see, like, the work that Brian actually puts into it. Man.
It ain't no lizards with whatever that guy's name was.
And nobody hated. I mean, nobody fucking liked Ed.
Yeah.
Same thing with. You know, I'm just gonna start bashing bars. Same thing with Shenanigans. That guy doesn't work with anybody as far as shows. Or bands. You know, whenever he does book a show, like it's he doesn't want them to play any shows in Huntsville outside of Shenanigans. You know, he has a problem with that. If you play anywhere else, he won't book you. And fucking can't stand the guy at Timeout, Jay.
I've never been there.
He's just an asshole. A womanizer.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
But then you see, like, you know, people like
you ever seen his shows at the Fox?
No.
There is a pretty good show.
So I've got nothing to say about the Fox.
Yeah. I'd never really had any interest in going there, but the one time I went there, Last Great Assault, it wasn't Falling North. No, wait, it was Falling North, but then there was Garrett's new band. I think it's Among the Silence. I think they were playing as well.
Among the Silence sounds familiar.
Yeah, that was
Garrett Lofgren?
Yeah. It was the G-Man. It was his new band. It was him and Chewy's band.
Okay.
And they were on the bill, and it was like a really fun show.
That's cool.
And like I really like the setup that they had at Fox's, but like I don't know if I'd ever just casually go in there for a drink.
I did whenever Randy worked up there.
Yeah.
I'd go up there and get
because they had like that
California
side,
pizza.
They had like that side place.
Yeah, that's where I went actually. But I've gone there for like Halloween one year, and then I've gone there because they had a rave night.
Really?
Yeah, it was cool as shit. Yeah, they had like 2 DJs working at a time and lights everywhere, and yeah, it was cool as shit. But I mean, they had that at 12th Street too. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Brian works to promote bands. He works to you know, build a scene, to work with people, to have events, you know, and that's a really cool thing to see.
Right.
By the way, he didn't pay for this
definitely
episode.
Didn't. But no, we'll shoot him a message. Hey, man, we were talking some good stuff about you in this one show. So
you might want to pay us some money. I'm just kidding.
Even though, like, I do enjoy 12th Street. Like I said before, I would like their, like, if they could turn the square into like a little bit more, like, just have like a fucking. We don't need to turn directly into Austin where there's a venue on every damn.
Yeah.
But at least
I mean, they tried it for a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, you know that there used to be a bar around the corner. What was it? Stardust?
Epic? Oh yeah, there's Stardust.
Stardust and Epic.
Yeah.
And Epic, I've been in there like once or twice, and there just wasn't anything going on. I think it's just a bar.
Yeah.
You know, but it didn't last very long, and Stardust has been around forever.
Yeah, and then they just shut down.
I used to work for Stardust.
Yeah.
And I worked 4 hours a week, 2 hours on one day, and 2 hours on another day, and obviously minimum wage. And the only benefit and the only reason why I stayed working there was because I got to cook my own food.
Nice. And
we had fajita burgers with ciabatta bread, and it was the best thing ever. My side was fucking fried green beans with this awesome sauce. And the only reason why I quit was because they took out one of my days, so I was only working 2 hours a week. Can you imagine the check? $6. No. Yeah.
I'm kind of flabbergasted that you're talking about all this stuff that you're cooking, because not once have I ever seen you cook anything like that.
Oh no, I was I like weighed the food and then put it in the freezer.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I did cook a little bit, but mostly for myself. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't do much, but I was the cook. And the few times that I got behind there to cook for other people, I legitimately, true story, burnt the mayor's fries.
Yeah.
So,
Is that why you don't cook anymore? Because you were traumatized by this event?
yeah, sure.
I mean, I'm legit asking because, like I said, like...
I don't really care for cooking, man. I mean, it's sometimes I get in the mood to. Sometimes I want to create something amazing, but then I'm like, I don't want to fuck with it. I grill sometimes, and I like doing that.
Yeah, I think for me, cooking has always been like another kind of form of therapy, and like it's like I'm creating something, and like
I like the creation aspect. I don't really think of it as a form of therapy, personally.
Okay, thank you for saying that because you would have just sounded like a douchebag.
Definitely is for
as
people,
long as you say personally or in my opinion somewhere that
well,
saves
it's not
you.
even in my opinion. I mean specifically just for me. It's not.
No,
yeah.
I get it.
Right.
Well, personally for me, like being able to create something, watch it sort of develop, and learn like where you screwed up and make it better next time. Like, for some reason, I find some sort of zen in that, as it's all me learning and all me like progressing on one like small thing in my life. Me being able to like have some control of this in my life.
Right.
You know, I'm sure you could break that down in the whole psychological or whatever it is. But for me, whenever I'm making like a really good penne pasta or
what accent did you use on that?
I was trying to go for something. I don't know what but I make a good penne pasta with the tomatoes and the bell peppers.
And the meatballs. One spicy meatball. It's one fucking spicy. You shit fire meatball.
I don't know what the fuck you're going.
I'm gonna put you on the fucking meatball.
Yeah, that's me whenever I'm cooking. Definitely. But yeah, dude, whenever I go through the steps and I figure something out, or if I try to do something completely brand new that I at one time would be scared to try, but then I finally am able to pull it off, and there's that, like, my fucking victory music is playing, I'm like, da 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 da, like, that's playing in my head. Like,
is that Zelda?
No, that was Final Fantasy VII.
Oh, yeah, okay.
But whenever that's playing in my head after it turns out to be good, it makes me feel happy.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like true accomplishment.
Right.
Which I'm sure many people have their different things that they do, and whether it be if you're a fucking like you're working in your woodshed and you're building a fucking table,
right.
You know, or you're an artist, if you're fucking Bob Ross and you're drawing some happy trees.
Oh man, I love Bob Ross.
Anything.
Why do we do a podcast? We should have just watched Bob Ross this morning.
Yeah, we should. I was watching Bob Ross while you were at the store, and no, I'm seriously. I was in between. I don't know what I was in between watching either, because I had turned Lost off because you didn't want to watch, because you walked in and I felt bad about playing it.
Yeah.
Because you didn't know what was going on, so I was like, I gotta find something different to watch. So I turned it on to Bob Ross, and he had like this really like depressing looking tree, like it was like black and blue,
right?
And it wasn't a happy tree.
Or was it?
But even still, he was like, let's put some happy trees in there somewhere, like behind it.
He felt bad for the shitty tree.
Yeah. Put some happy tree. Maybe the happy trees will make the sad tree happy. Yeah, dude, we should do a Bob Ross show one time.
We should put some depression blue on this tree.
It's not depression blue, it's oppression blue.
Oppression?
Yeah.
That tree has been oppressed. Help, I'm being oppressed.
No, it's not. It's actually not. It's Prussian. Prusian. Prussian. But whenever you hear it, you think he's saying depression.
Yeah, it's because that's how you feel when you see it. It's a dark blue.
Yeah.
A dark.
I guess I don't know what kind of time we're working on right now, but not that it matters. I guess I want to bring it back to that first question you asked me, and I want to ask you the question.
Oh, man.
And I want to ask this question to all the listeners, which I don't want to break the fourth wall, but I'm going to ask you, if you were a serial killer, what kind of serial killer would you be?
You're asking me now?
Yeah, I'm asking you.
Well, physically, I've got a body like Dahmer.
Okay.
And,
I feel like that would work if, like, other people knew who like, if we were, like...
Oh, he's goofy looking.
Like, no, but I'm just saying, like, you made a reference... Like
Jeffrey.
No. You made like an inside joke reference. Do I feel like if there was like 3 other people who knew who he was, they'd be like, oh, yeah, I know who you're talking. I know what you mean.
He's goofy looking.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure he's got an overbite like me.
Okay.
I think he's got that belly sticking out, just kind of like that awkward body.
Right.
Not like an ugly dude, just goofy looking.
Right.
And I think that's obvious that I fall into that category of awkward. Mm-hmm. Mentally, I could never be a serial killer.
Okay.
Obviously, because I've never experienced abuse as a child, and almost every single one of them have. So I don't know. It definitely wouldn't be Gacy with the 22 boys in the crawl space. Mm-hmm. But I would like to dress up.
Okay. So
I would like that aspect that Gacy has of dressing up like a clown.
Right.
Thing is, I don't think I'd kill too many people just because of compassion.
Would you be more of like a torturer?
No, man. So, okay, I would have H.H. Holmes' house, though. Okay. The torture house. The murder house. So, I would dress like Gacy. Mm-hmm. I'm physically a lot like Dahmer. I would have the castle like H.H. Holmes. But I'd probably only kill as many people as Ed Gein. 2. But a lot of it's really interesting stuff whenever it comes to serial killers. Uh-huh. Like the toy box killer. I don't know if... I think the toy box killer killed people, but I don't think they've actually found the killer. Mm-hmm. And toy box killer was one of those that would he would, find women, knock them upside the head, take them home, and they'd wake up to a TV with the guy telling them what he's going to do to them. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's very dark shit that he would tell them, and then he would actually do all the crazy shit that he said that he would do. Wow. But with the toy box killer, it is proof that brainwashing actually works, because they've actually he would drug the women and stuff, and he knew the same procedures like you use in MK Ultra. Are you familiar with MK Ultra?
No.
Okay, MK Ultra is a form of brainwashing that happened in the CIA that they would do to kids and different people to try to train them to be spies.
Okay.
And it never worked successfully. They was never actually used spies, but it is a real thing that happened in the CIA.
Okay.
And it's mind wars. But with the toy box killer, what he would do is he would drug them up and give them a certain amount of sexual abuse, because in order for the brainwashing to work, you have to use drugs and sexual abuse. That's what they even used in MK Ultra. It was not something they were supposed to have in the CIA, but that's what they used.
Right.
So essentially, he would brainwash them to where they forgot everything that happened. So he was able to send them back on their way with all the crazy shit that he did to them without them actually even knowing what they did in their life. And so whenever the toy box killer got caught and they had all these videos, because he filmed the videos of the different girls and stuff whenever he was doing whatever he did to them, and somebody saw that there was a familiar tattoo from somebody in one file versus another one. They came to that girl's house and they asked her questions and she didn't know about it. He was like, well, is this you? And showed the picture of the tattoo or whatever on the placement, of where hers was. And then it all came back to her. She legitimately forgot everything that happened, in that guy's little trailer home or whatever. And it all came back to her. And then all of a sudden the rest of her life was ruined because she remembered all that crazy shit and she was scared of everything.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would be okay with experiencing some shit like that, man.
Right.
imagine she wasn't okay with it. I guess real quick, I got a story that I want to tell real quick, and then I guess we could finish it up. When I was a little kid, I went to school at Catholic school, St. John's Catholics in Defiance, Ohio.
Right.
And it was during recess one time. We were playing kickball.
Right.
And I think I was in the outfield, and someone hit a home run, and it went all the way towards the back. The thing about our school is the school was right next to the church, and the school and the church was right next to a railway for a train to go by. But there is train carts, like kind of in the back. Like they were all kind of like lined up a certain way. It was a really weird place to have those things there, but they were there. And the ball went all the way back towards where they were. So I'm going back, and I see what looks to be a face in the far distance underneath one of them.
Right.
And I'm like, I'm not going to get that fucking ball. Game's over, guys. Sorry.
Yeah.
So I remember I ran back, and I was like, I lost it. I don't know where it is. And like everyone was like, "Aw," you know. And I remember I went to my best buddy, and I was like, "Hey, come over here, man. Do you see a face over there?" And he looked over, and he's like, "Yeah, there's somebody under there."
Right.
And I remember just being fucking terrified, right? And you know, went through the rest of school because I was recessed. That's the middle of the day. Went the rest of school, then went home. Went back to school the next day. It was a little bit closer.
Right.
And now I'm like, okay, I'm legitimately terrified. Like, I'm like shaking because I'm so damn scared. I go with my friend, I was like, look, there's the guy. And then I showed two of my older friends. So there's four of us now. And we all know that he's there.
Right.
It's there, whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah.
There was just this person, this face underneath this train cart just staring at us the whole time. And part of me was like, this is the most frightening thing to ever happen in my childhood. But it started to feel like Stephen King's It. Like, me and like four of like my closest friends I've ever had in my entire life are experiencing terror.
Right.
Like legitimate terror. And I don't know what it was. I don't know who it was. They eventually left.
Right.
If it was there, like whatever it was, it disappeared. But there was a legitimate face. It almost looked like the Michael Myers masks.
Oh, really?
Yeah. As far as like the paleness of it goes.
Right.
And like the darkness, like dark eye, like I can't. I could see it, but I feel like it's difficult for me to try to explain it. But I just remember seeing this damn face under this train cart, just staring at me, and just remember being like, I'm never going over there, even though it's like pretty close to the church, and we went to church every Sunday and Wednesday. It's like there's part of me that's gonna have to go by it.
Right.
I'm gonna have to encounter whoever's there. You know,
terrifying.
this is gonna turn into like a legit scary movie where the kid has to take on the fucking monster.
You know, if it looked close enough like the Halloween Michael Myers mask, it could have just been William Shatner.
Probably.
Yeah.
I'm stuck under this train. Kid, please help me.
Please get into my van. I have candy and Twinkies and Ho-Hos.
They all belong to me, but you can have some too.
I can share.
Anyways, yeah, that's my frightening experience, and I'm thankful that it didn't scar me in any way, or it didn't turn into a fucking monster that was wearing some crazy mask.
Right.
And I had a crazy story that happened to me, and I wrote a book about it, and then it turned into a shitty, scary movie. Thankful that didn't happen to me, man.
Yeah, that'd be terrible.
Probably make some good money off that, though.
Yeah, I still need to invest in more masks and a white van.
You go and do that, and you have a lot of fun. But, hey, man, I think that was a good talk.
Yeah, great talk.
All right, man. I'll see you later.
All right.
Good night.
Goodbye.
And
good night. Wait, which order? Is it good night?
You fucked it up, man. Good night, goodbye.